Welcome back to the Beyond the Coach podcast. I am your host, Kelsey Nanini,
And I am Chris Sweet.
and we're going to talk about elevation today. Um,
It's just funny because
but
we haven't quite figured out the name we want this podcast to
know what
be.
we're going to talk about.
So
But we
we
just
know what we want to talk about, but Kelsey and I have been stressing over like what's the catchy, fun name we can have this like podcast episode name to be. And we were like, you know what? Let's just hit record and
Yep.
see what comes up for us.
Yep.
So that is why we're laughing this morning. It's a Friday, and
We don't normally record on Fridays.
we
This is
don't.
crazy.
Maybe that's also the problem. Maybe we're like, it's
Maybe we
Friday
need to
brain.
record on Fridays.
Right,
We're just a little more
true.
free.
True. So true.
But we decided we wanted to record this podcast for our clients because we are currently in the middle of an in-house challenge and in-house just like really bringing our Apex team, Apex family closer together and just really like creating our sense of like constant pursuit of elevation because that's like ultimately why we named Apex what it is. It wasn't just like a cool name. It was like it actually meant something to us because the peak, like the mountain, is that little top of a mountain. Is it called an apex?
Yeah.
Didn't actually know that before. I ChatGPT taught me that in December or January.
Well, because we loved the name Peak. We were like, we like
Yeah.
Peak. We like what Peak represents. We like mountains, and Kelsey and I both love the outdoors and all the things. And we were like, okay, Peak. And then we knew we couldn't name our company Peak. We were like, that's just not gonna work. And then
Yeah.
we landed on Apex. And I remember when we launched our merge and the new business, and I had multiple people think that we meant Apex Predator. And I was like, well, I
Yes.
mean,
Look
we're
out.
trying to build some apex predators. Nobody's going to mess with our clients. Like that's my thought process. So
Yep.
take it how you want, but if you didn't know, it is to represent the peak of a mountain, the tippity top of the mountain.
It's so funny about Apex Predator because it's not like Apex is such a I see it everywhere. Now I see the word Apex everywhere. Like there's so many businesses.
Same.
There's like
It's
a
like when you
construction
buy a car
company.
and then suddenly you see that car everywhere. Like you see
Yep.
one car and you're like, oh my God, I've never noticed all the cars that have been in the world that are the
I
same as
haven't
mine.
seen I haven't seen a lot of sequoias, which I
You want
feel
to know something that's
you
really
keep
funny?
seeing them.
So I was in the car with my friend Hannah. We were going to the beach. Just had her first kid. She got her mom car, and I was like, oh, I was like Kelsey got her mom car, and I was like talking about it, and then I said the car because it's a Sequoia, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was like, yeah, it's a Sequoia, Sequoia, and she's like, oh, I don't think I've ever seen one of those. No
Don't judge.
lie, one literally merges in front of us on the highway in that very moment, and I was like,
You kidding us?
whatever you guys believe in, the higher power, the universe, whatever it is,
That's crazy.
something was working at that moment. I was like,
That's
I've never
crazy.
seen one, or at least noticed one out, and like literally Hannah was like,
Older
oh,
ones.
like that one, and I was like, yeah, just like that one, and like just pulled out in front of us. So
Yeah, you
needless to
only see the older
say,
ones. But when I wanted a Bronco for so long,
you
I
just
just
see them
all I saw was
everywhere.
Bronco. So I was like, I can't get a Bronco right now, and all I want is that.
Yep,
And then like when I
yep,
thought about a Tahoe, anyways, it's not
yep.
important. Sequoia, Toyota gang. But today we wanted to just cover like, if if you're listening to this, like Chris and I, and this year has been absolutely like bonkers for the both of us. Just lots of things that came up that weren't planned, and it feels like ever since we merged, it's just been a shit show in the best way possible, but also in the worst way at times as well. And we have things that we have just stuck to and like held ourselves to regardless of what happens in life, and that's like the standard we hold for ourselves, and those standard we also want to hold for our clients. And so that's ultimately what we wanted to cover on the pod today, was just like, here's the things we do to constantly pursue elevating ourselves and like reaching towards our peak or our apex. So that's what we're gonna chit chat about today. Um, I will say the first, like, very simple, because they're like kind of habits, like standards slash habits. I'm sure there's quite a few we could just like nail off, like rummage off, whatever the word, rummage, that's not right. But the first one for me would be sleep. It's like a very sacred thing to me. It won't be come like December, but this year has been, because I know it's like, and that's like a small thing, right? That's not like a big sexy thing that I do, but um, without sleep, you're not recovering. And I know so many people don't sleep enough because they're scrolling TikTok, TikTok, or whatever it may be. But that's like the one, I will say, the smallest thing
Yeah.
I hold myself to and I cherish quite a bit. So December's going to be a badass wake up call for me.
To be fair, I think
Right.
sleep will still be sacred to you. I think
Thank
it's
you.
just going to be a whole different type
I'm
of
going to just be
routine.
sleeping whenever I can.
I'm going to get texts from you at like, I feel like Kelsey's going to have like random business ideas as she's like with the baby at like 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning. Like, I'm going to get the most random text and timestamps from you.
Especially
I
that
fear.
week, those like weeks where I'm technically not working. I was telling Kaden that this morning on our walk. I was like, what does one do for the first 6 weeks postpartum where you can't work out and I'm not like really working? Like, like, what does one do? What do
Yep.
you, how do you, what do you do? And I think
Yep.
it's just going to be me thinking of, hey, Chris, I thought of a new idea. And be like, bitch, shut up.
I mean, like, how's your kid?
Like, it's fine. I keep saying it. Someone said that the other day. They
Because
were
we
like,
don't know. But
yeah,
I mean, it,
I don't
they,
know what to
them.
say. Yeah, I'm like,
It's hard when you don't know. Yeah, no, that's definitely a tough one. The good news, sorry, Frankie is gonna, if that ASMR for you
hi,
was
Pinky.
that was from Frankie. He's such a mama's boy, guys. He's like literally like velcroed to me at all times and just like doesn't leave my, you know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Your son.
Vicinity, side, all the things. But yes, I was thinking about this. I was like, for those of you who don't know, I will be moving closer to Kelsey, and I was thinking about this today. I haven't told anyone minus the podcast. Like, I haven't actually said where we're moving, and I don't think I'm going to on Instagram until like we're literally moving. But I was thinking, I was like, well, at least with Kelsey on maternity leave, like I can just go to her house and just hang out with her, and we can just
Straight.
kind of shoot
I'll be
the
doing
shit,
nothing all day.
do our things. But
It's
totally
so bored.
unrelated. And then, when you need to sleep, I'll be like, okay, go take a nap.
Yeah.
I'll watch the dogs.
Honey, you can't talk.
Like, I'm gonna be like, all right, go to sleep. Go, please. Baby sleeping, go sleep, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think sleep is such an important one that truly doesn't get enough credit sometimes because people just like have such bad habits around nighttime and even the morning. Like they wake up and they're, on their phone first thing in the morning. I know I have been guilty of that before. But
Yes.
especially at night, like this is your time for your nervous system to come down a little bit. It's your time for your digestion to obviously do what it needs to do. Like so many systems and processes and recovery happens while you are asleep. It is probably one of the most important yet basic anchors that people have. And as coaches, it's funny, we're teaching people pretty much like sleep routines, food, water, like the basic things. But it's because they're so important. Like some people might be like, well, I don't need someone to tell me to get like, 7 hours of sleep. But meanwhile, you're just continuously getting, sub 5, 6 hours of sleep some nights. And habits are what's going to help you get more sleep if you work on the things that are around that too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a small thing, and I hate the saying people are like, it's a small but a big thing. But like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'll sleep when I die. I'm like, it's not.
But your life
Like,
will actually feel a lot better if you get
yeah,
more
like
sleep.
why don't you just improve your life now? I
Yes.
don't
Yeah.
know. So that's the first one. It's a pretty simple one, but I don't know if you wanted to. We just back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I keep thinking back to like, you were saying this year has definitely been a crazy one for Kelsey and I, but I think the blessing that we have had in merging our businesses is that it has actually been better and easier for the both of us to actually like manage those things because we have another person who's kind of gets it and understands it and is like, hey, I've got you. I got your back. Like, don't worry about it. There's not as much pressure on us. And so one of the things that I was just thinking through like Mexico and my ankle injury that I had that I couldn't work out, I couldn't do anything, was truly just like food like scheduling, like just having something that I could like look forward to that felt like I was still working on myself and caring for my body. Because for me, movement is like my favorite thing. I love moving my body. If I can go for a hike, if I can go take a workout class, if I can go to the gym, like I'm going to go do it. That is definitely my preferred way. And I think we always say that, you know, fitness feels like the part-time job and like nutrition is a full-time job. And that's why nutrition is really difficult. But truly being grounded in the same routines around my food, whether my ankle was, you know, in a boot or not, it's the one constant that didn't really change that still made me feel some sense of normalcy. So waking up and getting to have my breakfast and then, you know, having my snack and then having my lunch and then having my snack and my dinner, keeping that made me feel sane to some degree, because I know some people could be in that position and kind of think like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of me continuing to like take care of my nutrition, all this stuff, if I can't do all the things? And that's where people get stuck into the all or nothing mindset. And I think all of us have learned, and even if we're still stuck in an all or nothing mindset, I think a lot of people can admit that that's not a very productive mindset to be in. It's the hardest one to work through. And we can usually say it out loud before we can actually physically work through that. And nutrition just genuinely like anchored me in so much during a time of uncertainty. And I found a lot of joy out of having that still be a part. And when things are out of your control, I always say, look at the things that are in your control. And a lot of times nutrition is actually one of the one things that is still in our control, because movement is something that can definitely be out of our control if you're coming back from an injury or even like postpartum, right? You can do some stuff, but obviously not to that full degree that you want. And yeah, that just kept me really grounded throughout the process of it.
Yeah, I can't agree more with that. It just going through pregnancy and knowing that since the end of March, like I tracked, not that you have to track macros, let me be clear, but it's something I did prior to pregnancy, and I always feel better doing it to make sure I'm eating enough food. It hasn't been to eat in a deficit, it's been to eat at maintenance or above. And it, for me, it's not even just macros, it's been prioritizing fiber even on days where I'm not tracking. Like there's definitely days, like I will say a lot of weekends I haven't tracked with just things going on and having some more freedom at this time, but when I'm eating, it's always because I want to make sure I want to feel better after the meal. And I think a lot of people view pregnancy as like, oh well, I'm gonna get fat anyways, so like what's the point? But it's like I've actually like maintained a lot of what was going on prior to pregnancy solely because I've focused on whole foods and protein and like fiber and eating ultimately the same, but just more than normal. And I think at a time when a lot of people would just throw in the towel and be like, oh, screw it. Like, I'm just going to go through the drive. And let me be clear, there have definitely been times where I've eaten out because I don't want to cook. Like, first trimester, I was like, oh, I don't want to, but I did. We haven't actually, I mean, we've eaten out more than we normally do, but nothing crazy. Like, I wanted a sub sandwich yesterday, so we got a sub sandwich. It was fucking slapped. But for the most part, it's been keeping these the same. And I think when you do that, the reason why a lot of people struggle with nutrition is because you haven't recognized how much better you feel when you do prioritize those things. And I will say, like, I haven't had given, I don't have a study on this, but I've kept things pretty much the same the whole time. And I haven't had a lot of crazy symptoms. And I have to say, I would attribute that to partially prioritizing nutrition, even in a time where it like feels like, what's the point? So that's definitely a good one.
Yeah, and we track a lot of biofeedback with our clients. And, you know, for those of you who don't know what biofeedback is, we basically have a spreadsheet that our clients fill out. And every single day they're rating, you know, their stress, their hunger, their sleep, their soreness and recovery levels. And when we're looking at all of those things, a huge correlation is usually their food, their consistency with not only volume of food, but then also quality of food that they are consuming. And it's not easy to make changes to your nutrition. Let me say that. Like, I know in the beginning of my journey, it was very difficult. And I talked on this on my Instagram story yesterday, actually, just talking about how I didn't come from a family that really taught me how to cook. Like, I hate being in the kitchen. I'm a personal trainer and health coach who literally would rather not be in the kitchen. Thankfully, I did marry a man who likes to be in the kitchen. So it's kind of nice. A nice little, I will do the dishes and the laundry and he can cook. Like, I'm fine with that trade-off. But it's really difficult when you're starting a fitness journey and you're not just like immediately, obviously, a natural in the kitchen, or it feels very frustrating or time consuming. There's so many ways to make nutrition easy. So even if you're trying to work, I was about to say Trader Joe's is where I went yesterday. I bought pre-cut zucchini. I
Mhm.
also got because I can have like butternut squash for my detox right now. So I just got like the spaghetti squash style so that I could throw some like ground beef in there and I can have this like garlic expressions dressing. So I just kind of like cooked it all in and it tasted really good. But would I have wanted to go sit down and cut up a whole butternut squash and then spiral it into
Into
pasta?
garbage.
Probably not. Like that is literally the worst. Around the holidays, my mom makes this butternut squash dish. It's like the best thing ever. And I remember growing up, the one thing that my family would cook is this butternut squash pasta dish. It's so freaking good. But I remember growing up and watching her like cut the squash, and I was like, that looks like a lot of work. Like I don't know
Yeah.
about that. And then Trader Joe's has the butternut squash pre-cut for you, so I'm like, it's great. But for anyone trying to really like hone in on the habit of nutrition, one, don't feel like you need to cut things out cold turkey completely. Like that's one of the worst things that you can do is that 0 to 100 mindset. And then the other thing too is just find convenience where convenience obviously serves you best. So it's like going into the grocery store and realizing, hey, maybe truly cutting vegetables is actually really frustrating and time consuming. Maybe you honestly don't know how to cut some vegetables. You're like, some vegetables look really freaking weird. I get it. Like some of them are strange. But truthfully going in and just buying the pre-cut stuff. I know it's a little more expensive usually, but like it does save you the time and frustration. And even just pre-seasoned like chicken and meats. Like if you're someone who doesn't really know like flavor palettes and all the combos of seasonings, buy just like the pre-seasoned stuff and put that in the oven with your pre-cut vegetables and then save a little sweet treat for yourself at night. Like you can definitely make those changes and stay grounded in that. It doesn't have to be this like perfect day of eating that you see all the influencers doing. So it truly is one of the things that just kept me happy despite and kept me feeling good to a degree because I definitely when I was in my ankle injury could have been like, okay, well, screw it. If I can't go to the gym, like, I'm just gonna eat out every day and get Chick-fil-A and drink my Diet Cokes and like have my Reese's at night. Like the things that, of course, I would love to do. I love a Chick-fil-A root beer is superior. So I love a good Chick-fil-A
I'm
root beer,
definitely loving
Chick-fil-A sandwich. Yep.
it.
I'm like, we are a Chick-fil-A family through and through.
Yep.
But on the thought of it, it's like, you can continue that, but guess what? At the end of my 6 weeks being in a boot, I would have felt a lot worse. And I would have had to actually come back from even a different starting point than how I did it, where I was still paying attention to my health and I was actually able to come back a lot sooner and heal a lot faster because of the decisions I made, both with sleep and with nutrition. So they kind of compound together.
Yeah, and to the point of Trader Joe's, like that's how I've since I moved in with Caden in 20 technically we got our first apartment in like 2017. We lived right by a Trader Joe's, and I never had before. I never had Trader Joe's stuff, but we were at a stage in our life where one like we didn't have a lot of money, and I always thought Trader Joe's was like expensive.
Trader Joe's is so affordable. Sorry to
So
side tangent.
cheap.
I got
So cheap.
3 bags of like big frozen shrimp for less than $25 yesterday. And I was like, that's insane. Because if I go to my local grocery store, 1 bag of shrimp is $20. So
Yeah.
crazy.
It's so cheap and really easy. Like when we were really, really busy, there was a time where I was working at a golf course, I was personal training, and I was coaching volleyball. So like we didn't, and Kaden had weird hours. Trader Joe's pre-made all their like freezer stuff. By the way, I still have them. The mushroom risotto is insane. I tried making risotto on my own because I was like, oh, we had friends over. No, it didn't even touch. And I was like, Trader Joe's frozen mushroom risotto takes me 5 minutes. This risotto, I was stirring the pot for an hour. Like the convenience of it is perfect. Last night we had these little French baguettes. They're literally like this small. They're like so good, and the macros are wonderful. So don't overcomplicate it. Even frozen vegetables are
Yes.
great,
I was literally
and
about to
they
say
don't go
buy
bad.
frozen vegetables, buy smoothies too, like buy all the frozen fruit, throw that into a
Yeah.
smoothie. You can get so much nutrients like through a smoothie, especially anyone who struggles with like eating healthier or making that transition as I'm literally drinking my smoothie here. But like doing things that can definitely help. And it's funny you said Trader Joe's, and I just had flashbacks to when I interned in Miami, my sophomore year of college or junior year of college. I interned in Miami, and I only ate Trader Joe's because I was a broke college student making like no money from this internship, living in Miami, which was very expensive. And I literally lived off of like salad kits and the pre-made cut chicken that Trader Joe's had. And
There's so
everything I had was Trader Joe's, and it was like the best thing in the world. That was where I
yeah.
practically lived all summer in Miami. So yeah, I cannot say enough good things about Trader Joe's.
Yeah, I feel like
Um,
I need to go to Trader Joe's this week. I haven't been for a few weeks. I stocked up like a few weeks ago. I haven't been back.
you need to.
It's just so good. So, and their produce is like a great. I love their produce. I think it's a great produce section. Like the bagged, all their bagged salads, and they're like pre-bagged, like different like
Hmm.
vegetable blends where you don't have to cut the vegetables. It's just like even their stir fry blend, or they have like
Yep.
a really good like tri-colored cauliflower. All those things are wonderful. So 10 out of 10 recommend Trader Joe's.
Yep. Absolutely.
If you want to sponsor us, Trader Joe's,
We see
just
you.
saying, we need a
We see
sponsor.
you. Do you see us?
We love you. Um, my next one was going to be because you started to mention it with the nutrition was
Hmm.
movement and
Yep.
whatever that movement means. For instance, like going back to Mexico. So earlier this year, I've gone through a whole like identity crisis this year, truthfully, and I feel like I'm fine now, but it's been bumpy. I was training for I did High Rocks back in February. So I was training for that, and that kind of literally went right into me training for a half marathon. There was no break. And when we were in Mexico, we were in Tulum. So like we were in like a there's safe areas of Tulum, and there's this long stretch of highway where there's constantly cars and there's people walking and everything. So one day I was like, guys, I have to run while I'm here. And I think I had to run like 8 miles. I think I had to run something like 6 or 8 miles. And I was like, it's humid as shit here, but I have to do it. Like I can't just skip out on a full week of training. So I ran at the gym one day and I did an outside run the other day because I was like, I'm not going to run for that long on the treadmill. Um, and then that kind of carried over. Obviously, I didn't end up doing the half marathon. That's for future Kelsey to worry about. But then getting into pregnancy, even in days where I was so fatigued in first trimester, um, I never was sick, luckily. But just like days you just don't feel like doing it, you just do it. Because regardless of how you feel, after you move, you just know you feel so much better. And like, that's a thing. Like, there's so many different opinions about training in pregnancy. And I obviously have my own, and that are, you know, I think right. But I was training for years prior. I'm going to continue to train because that's what I know is best for me. And
Yep.
regardless of where you're at in life, even if it's just getting a walk in or just getting on a bike at home, like if you have a bike that's collecting dust at home, or I know so many of y'all bought Pelotons during COVID and aren't using them. Like, I know for a fact.
Truly.
So I think it's just something every day, even if it's just stretching, yoga, whatever it may be, like you just feel a lot better, and that's a momentum thing that you can just keep going. But if you don't look at vacations and trips as like a break from life, I look at them as like, no, I'm still living my life, right? Like I'm still like here, and that's what makes me happy. Like yes, I'm going to fully relax, but I also know that like getting movement in even while away like makes me feel so good. And so that's just something I always hold myself to.
Yeah, I made a post this past week actually, and I talked about how just in relation to my detox, I was like, not all restriction is bad. And I know a lot of people can look at health and fitness as a restriction on their lifestyle. Like they see it in that light. Whereas some people, you and I, we look at health and fitness almost like a permission slip, or almost like this ability, this privilege that we get to have. And it actually allows us an allowance. That's what I'm looking for. It's an allowance for us to actually go live our lifestyles. Like because of fitness, because of what we've done, we get to go do these things. And there's just so many experiences I've gotten to have in life thanks to fitness and movement itself. And I definitely have gotten to celebrate my body. I mean, I think when I was younger, I loved playing sports. So like that was always my favorite form of movement. And then, when I went into college, I had a weird kind of falling out with fitness. And then I fell in love with the gym. And that was my big thing. During COVID, I fell in love with running, which if anyone knows me, I'm not a runner anymore. I would like to run a 5K just to say I can do it, but like that's the extent of my running journey, I think. But I went into my running, and then when we moved to Boston, I fell in love with going to cycle classes once a week. I loved going and just doing a ride class. And I want to get back into those actually after the move. But I always just found different forms of movement. I've taken yoga classes and I've stayed steady with what I love in the gym. And then more importantly, I love hiking. I love walking. If I can spend any amount of time outside in nature, I am going to take it. I love swimming. I love all of that. And all of those things are forms of movement. And when I travel, I was thinking back to in February, I went to the Dominican for my birthday and I woke up every morning. Kenneth and I got in a workout. Like we got in a workout almost every single morning. And for some people, I think no offense to my mom, I don't know if my mom's going to listen to this, but my mom is definitely one of those people who would be like, oh, like, why are you going to go work out? Like, just go relax, like go relax on the beach. Like, why are you going to worry about it? But like I'm waking up at 7, 8 in the morning on vacation still. Like I'm not sleeping until 9, 10. I'm gonna go eat some breakfast, and the UV doesn't become peak until like 12, 1, 2. So like I'm not gonna miss peak UV, but there's a chunk of time there where I want to go do something. And for me, I feel way better when I actually train on vacation, like getting to have better digestion and better energy because I went and trained. And I think it also is almost just that cue for my body to still stay steady in habit. So like by getting in my workout, I automatically am drinking like 30 ounces of water usually when I'm working out because I'm just so thirsty when I'm working out. And so I know I'm like going to get ahead on my water. I'm going to get ahead on my steps. I'm going to feel really good about myself. And then it's that allowance for me to go about my day and feel really good and energized. So there's so many ways people can look at fitness and, our habits, and you in Mexico running 8 miles and being like, you're freaking crazy. How do you do that? But it's a lifestyle. That's all it is. In the same way that some people's lifestyles aren't that, there are people whose lifestyles are that. And I think both can be respected because they're just based on how somebody wants to live their life. But it doesn't have to be this crazy concept that, I think some people think it is. I also think the really important part when you are prioritizing fitness and you are like on a trip is having people around you that just kind of get it, but you staying grounded also in the fact that you're just going to do it. Like for you were around obviously people who understood it. Like we were at the gym while you were running. So we were like, yeah, like go get your run in.
A lot easier.
So much easier when you are around that community. But then also with that too, if you're not around that community and people, have judgments or the comments, the people are like, oh, just relax. You don't need to do that. Like, come on, just come have some fun. And I'm like, I'm gonna have fun. Like fitness doesn't not allow me to have fun. Fitness actually gives me the ability to go enjoy myself and have a better mood than maybe I would otherwise. But if you're not around those people, it's just really staying steady in yourself and the commitment you've made to you, because you are the only one that's going to live in your body for the rest of your life. Like Joe Schmo, Aunt Sally, whoever it is that's making these comments, like are not the people who have to live in your body forever and don't have to wake up the next day and have that guilt and that shame that maybe you carry when you don't follow through on the things that you said. Like you get to do that and make yourself proud. And then more importantly, you get to also make an impact on those people that are around you. You get to start to show them what it looks like and that, oh, both can kind of exist. This is just a very slight side tangent, starting my GI protocol. My mom has had like a lot of GI issues, and by her watching me do like my detox and kind of sticking to everything very routinely, it's gotten her like asking me questions about GI and like, oh, maybe I should do the GI map. Like I've had these issues and tell me a little bit more about the detox. And oh, like that's a cool substitution. Like just getting to share that, you do get to make such an impact on your people. And I don't think we see that enough sometimes or recognize that enough.
100%. And two, like you talked about, like we talk about working out on vacation or like the 8 mile run. Like it doesn't have to be just that. It could be just that you're busy. And I think a lot of people will use their kids as an excuse. This is actually content I came up with for Megan and Jane, like way back in like January. I was like, guys, this is like the perfect piece of content. Now I'm like, oh, I can use it for myself. It's like, oh, like you would like, I forget what it even was, but it was just like, stop using your kids as an excuse. Like they should be your reason, not your excuse. And like, yeah, kids take up a lot of time, right? Like a ton of time. But at this point, like you could get a small amount of equipment at home and just do a quick thing. Like we still have a lot of our equipment that we had back when I ran a gym in my garage. We just brought it all down here. I don't have a space. Like we don't have a gym here at my house, but what we've been doing is I've just been working out on our patio and just doing something, because it's just been days where I don't necessarily I literally don't have the time to go to the gym. And it's like, oh, I just want a quick 30-minute workout. Well, those 30 minutes, it takes me 30 minutes just to get to the gym, like get there and back. It's like 15 minutes each way. So that's been a big thing for me too. It's like, just do it imperfect. It doesn't have to be the perfect thing. If you just have bands, you can still accomplish something. Like, will at some point you probably need more to like see results. Yeah, sure. But like, do it imperfect until, and it's like almost like fake till you make it. Like, you just have to do the thing and like force yourself to start. And it's so much easier once you continue. And you just notice such a difference. Like, if you don't have energy, the energy you take toward a workout can actually help you have more energy, crazy enough. Cellular energy, endorphins, all the things like actually can help just from moving your body. So I think that's a big one.
Yeah, the last thing I'll add to that too is my favorite thing I tell my clients is the best form of movement, especially when you are in the beginning of your fitness journey, or even like coming back after a period of just feeling like unmotivated. There's just, we all get in those lulls. The best form of movement is truly going to be the one that you can most consistently stick to, the one that gets you the most excited. I have one client who loves going to a climbing gym. She loves climbing. She's such a badass with it. And she, when we first started working together, she was like, you know, can I still climb? Can I still go to climbing? Like, is that allowed? And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, absolutely. I want you to go to climbing because one, because of what you do in the gym, you're going to get better at climbing. That's going to be more exciting for you. But truly, whenever people, and there's so much, you know, the social media and the internet is a whole thing. And there are so many, you know, clickbaity things out there where it's like the one form of exercise that's going to get you to your dream body, or the one thing that's going to do this. It's like, there's no one thing. There's no one singular thing that's going to get you there. But if you cannot consistently stick to what you are currently doing, then something either needs to change or add some excitement in the mix. Like, you know, go take a workout class, go join a climbing gym, or even just like go get in a walk. If you are a mother and you have a young child, I know like my clients who are mothers, they just love going for walks with their kids in the stroller, the kids enjoying themselves. They are getting some fresh air. They're maybe listening to a podcast or like an audiobook or even just nothing at all. And it's just pure silence for them outside. Walking, and we didn't talk about that, is just like walking itself is so healthy for you. Like, it is so good for you, so good for your mental health, so good for recovery. And I just cannot recommend it enough. And going back to vacation, that's another thing. Just waking up and going for a walk around, you know, wherever you are on vacation, or going for a walk on the beach. That's my favorite thing when I am traveling, honestly, is just walking everywhere I can. Like, I'm not going to be someone who takes an Uber up a street. Like, I'm totally the person who will walk like everywhere just to see things.
Everywhere. We're like,
literally.
maybe
Like, do we take
I don't know.
taxi? Is this some street? I don't know. I was like, but we want to get
It
in
was
our
like,
steps.
you should probably take a taxi there. We're like, no, it's fine.
We'll be fine.
Fine.
It's okay.
Why
But yeah,
am I
that was
right now?
the last thing I wanted to add on that, because I just think it's not, walking is not appreciated enough. And then two, sometimes people feel judgment in the form of movement that they love. I also know some clients who take like pole dancing classes, and they love taking a pole dancing class. It is a great workout, guys. Like, I took one pole dancing class for my friend's
can't do it.
bachelorette, and it was hard. Like, the strength you have to have is insane. And there's so many fun classes, and there's even just like free classes outside. Like, I know there's a lot of community-based stuff now where people like host things in parks. So you can even just look at local parks and see like if they're hosting anything, or like a walking club or a running club. There's a lot of accessibility nowadays when it comes to movement. It just is you following through on getting it done, especially.
Yeah, I've never been anti-group fitness unless it's to the point where you're complaining about being excessively tired, or you're doing class every single day. There was client members that I had at the old Orange Theory I worked at who would do 2 classes in a day, and then they would go 6 days a week. And I'm like, hey, like, I'm not here to tell you what to do. You have an unlimited membership. Do whatever you want, but like, that's probably the reason you're not seeing results. However, if it means you're not working out at all because you just can't seem to get it done, or you're going to a workout class, go to the workout class. I love F45. I think it's so fun. When I was a coach at Orange Theory, we were trying to save money so I didn't pay $40 a month for a gym membership, and I just worked out at Orange Theory, but I was always there. Like, I worked there, so I took like 4 to 5 classes a week. Was I in my peak physique? No, but I was training and I felt good. And so at the end of the day, it's just like, do something and find what you like. Like classes are fun and there's a sense of community and you see your friends and it can be really great. And regardless, you're doing something, which is the biggest thing. So there's phases of life where it's going to look great and perfect. And there's phases of your life where you just need something to just like unplug. And if you're super busy, that unplugging actually like with a group fitness class is great. So
Hmm.
I'm not
Yeah.
anti group fitness.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Um, Going into, I guess, really the next habit was going to just be like morning and evening routines. I think that they are underrated at times because people don't realize the power of it. So we kind of already alluded to things as far as like your phone and like all of those little, it's almost like the nitty gritty, just like the nitty gritty little
Mhm.
habits you can have. For me, I love like trying to be off work at least like a few hours before I need to go to bed. Like I've actually been a lot better about that. There was a time in my life where I was not good with it. I was working literally until 10 p.m. and then closing my laptop and immediately hopping in bed. It was just like not it. But the quality of life I lived at that point was not very good. Like my nervous system was very much like wrecked at that point. So, shutting off, work a few hours before bed, even by like 6, 7 p.m. if you're going to bed at like 9, 10 p.m. Is important. And then first thing in the morning, have water before coffee. Like try to drink a glass of water. Frankie's really all over me today. Drink a glass of water before coffee. Focus on even your coffee intake throughout the day. Focus on, in the evening, having maybe a hot tea before bed to like simmer you down, take a hot bath. Like there's so many things you can do for you in the morning and in the evening. And when you work on your sleep routines, you're able to have more of a capacity for these routines. I know for me, there was a point in my time where I was like, gosh, I can't imagine like waking up, early to get done all these things before I start my day. At one point, my life was me waking up, jumping out of bed, throwing on my clothes, going to work, working, all these when I was in person and then when I was in the gym, like just working these crazy 12-hour days. And that was go, 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 go. But my sleep wasn't really the best at that point because I was just go, 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 go. Versus now I have that capacity to like wake up even 30 to 60 minutes earlier than I typically would to have a glass of water in the morning and then be able to go into my routines and not feel like my nervous system is just rushed. So the beautiful thing about morning and evening routines is they can just be so customized per person. They're not this like black and white thing. Fitness can feel black and white, nutrition can feel black and white because it's revolved around one thing, movement and food, whereas your morning and evening routines could be revolved around anything that you love to do: reading, journaling, meditation, breath work, taking a bath, even tidying up the house for 20, 30 minutes for yourself just to feel mentally a little bit better. There truly is so much power in routines. And I find my clients who are most successful when it comes to like their fat loss phase, they're the people who are really grounded in those routines and they like set the tone for themselves of their weeks, of their months by that routine alone that they are having in the morning and in the evening.
Yeah, and it can be like you said, it doesn't have to be a one size fits all for your morning and evening routines. You'll see like all the influencers post their morning routines and it's like I get up, I splash cold water on my face, and then I scratch my face for all the inflammation that came when and then I
And
journal
then I
and
put my red
sleep
light
on
mask
it. Yeah,
on.
I wear my it looks that mask to me looks like what's that uh, that superhero that what is Iron Man? It looks like Iron Man. You look like Iron Man. I Hey, do what you need to do. Again, that's
I've
your
heard
morning
it's
routine.
great. I've heard it is great for your skin.
It sounds, yeah, I'm sure it is. I for sure. I just can't unsee. I can't unsee Iron Man. But it's like, it's all this perfect thing, right? It's like I drink my sea moss and I whatever else it is, right? There's all these things out there. You don't like simplify your morning routine. Like I will say
Yeah.
lately, I have been waking up and like getting on my phone right away, which I need to cut out because I always feel much better when I don't. I At bedtime I'm much better at it, but it's like when I don't get on my phone for the first and last hour of the day, I feel so much better because when you think about it, you literally wake up and you start scrolling and then you just immediately start your day with like comparison or like you start your day in
Yeah.
other people's lives. Like, why do you want to do that? So really what I do is I wake up, like we wake up early. We, sometimes it's like we'll go walk the dogs right away, depending on what time we wake up, or we'll take a little bit of time, like eat my pre workout meal, chill out, and then go walk the dogs. But since it's summertime, we like kind of do that right away. Um, and then I may or may not go like do a little reading and then go to the gym. But before it was like walk the dogs, come back and kind of just start working. And I think, to be honest, like there's nothing wrong with that. Like I think a lot of people like don't work right away. At least start something, like do something. But like my morning routine, because you're on the East Coast, like I do start work pretty much right as I wake up. And then, but at night, I'm done working at 5 or 6. Like, so yes, I am working from, 6 a.m. on, but it's different, right? Like once you move, I'm sure it'll be the same way. Like we just, maybe it won't be as early because now you'll be here. But it just kind of depends. Like I don't think it's bad, and I think a lot of people feel, a little bit guilty of that. I just find I'm so focused in the morning. It's like get up, drink some water, have my pre-workout, walk the dogs, and then like I sit down and I start work most days. And it's really finding what's best for you, because then in the evenings I have 2 or 3 hours of like chill time before.
Yeah. No, that is such a good comparison, because for me, it's like I feel like I have my mornings usually because you are Pacific time. So like my mornings,
Yeah.
my work starts closer to like, 9 a.m. typically, where I know yours at 6. So for me, it's like I do typically like to wake up, have my water, have my pre-workout, go to the gym. That's kind of my downtime. That's like my me time first thing in the morning,
Yeah.
because in the evenings it is usually busier. Like we have a team call literally at 7 p.m. at night. So like there are definitely things that are later for me. The one thing that Kenneth and I have loved doing is just like a sunset walk in the evening. So in the evening, like literally around like 8 p.m., because the sun doesn't set till 9 here right now, which is glorious for our mental health. So amazing. But like we'll literally every evening go for a walk with the dogs, and it's just it's almost just cueing my body that it's like, hey, like, you're off the clock, like go for your walk, come back, I'll take like a hot bath or a shower, and then I'll like have my tea right now that I'm having for my detox, and then I'll just go like sit in bed and chill kind of for a little bit. I definitely am someone who could be a lot better with my phone right now. And yeah, I think it's just important. Like the main message is just it can be whatever you need it to be that you like to do. One tip I do want to add as well is turn your notifications off on your phone. Like or even
Always
have like
handy.
a shutdown time for your apps. For me, I don't get any notifications to my phone. Like fun fact about me, if you text me, I'm actually not going to see it unless I intentionally go open my messages app, which is why usually when I'm on my computer, I see all my messages. And then when I'm on my phone, I'm like, oh, I waited way too long to answer somebody. The only way people can really get a hold of me is via phone call if you really want my notification to pop up right away, or I just have my phone on do not disturb. So maybe for you guys, it's less realistic to do that, but maybe it's something that after 8 o'clock, like your phone goes on sleep mode and everything's on do not disturb. That way notifications and all of that just aren't popping up. Emails from work aren't popping up, because it's so easy to see those things and to think, oh, I just need to respond now, or oh, it'll be easier if I just do it now. You're not doing yourself any service at that point. Like you are the only person who's hurting at that is you. Like you are the only one who is hurting yourself by opening your email and answering those things or slipping and sliding on these habits. But they do just make you so grounded. They really, really do.
Yeah, and if you're a scroller, I don't have this feature because I really like, I don't scroll really, except for TikTok. I do watch TikTok a lot, but that's because also it's not like work related. I think it helps me turn off and laugh because my algorithm on TikTok is just like great. But so I will say, like my one bugaboo. But Kaden, can tend to like open apps and just like go on for no reason throughout the day. And so at the end of the day, sorry for calling you out, Kaden. Beginning and end of the day, he uses the Opal app, which again I don't have it, but it works really well because he can't go on unless he goes into the Opal app and turns on like, hey, I want to like go on this app for the next 15 minutes or whatever. So if he like needs to show me something or whatever, sometimes he'll turn it off. But I think that app is a great way because it literally locks your apps. And like honestly, like me, I'm like, if something tells me I can't go on, I don't want to go on to another app just to tell me you can go on this app and then go to that app. Like to me, that's just inconvenient. So I like to just like, especially like the last hour, the day after we watch a show or whatever, just put my phone away and just read and like chill out for the evening. And that is very much so like help my sleep too.
Yes. Yeah. And I think to add to routines, is just relationships. Like if you do live with a partner, it can be very hard. Like if one partner, is chronically scrolling and the other one isn't, it's almost like, okay, then maybe now you're both scrolling. Kenneth and I have found this for ourselves. Like, we'll lay down in bed and like we'll just both be scrolling. And I'm like, we haven't even talked to each other. Like, we haven't even asked each other, like, how was your day? And we've really tried to work on that, where we try to put our phones away and even just talk, like just straight up talk for like 30 minutes. And actually, I find I literally doze off so much easier. Like, I just get tired from talking and I'm like, okay, I'm like dozing off. But Kenneth actually, he just got a Kindle and I love my Kindle. And so it's nice because now we both are able to like read at night, because he didn't have a Kindle. So if he finished his physical book, he, wasn't able to read. He would just kind of be
The
scrolling
light
or
has to be on.
yes, exactly. Like the light has to, and I hate the light. I'm like, can you? I said this to him so many times. I'd be reading my Kindle and I'd be like turned away from him. And I felt like such an asshole, but I would be like, oh, do you mind? Do you mind just turning off your light? And he's like, I can't. And I'd turn around and see his book out. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, at one point I was going to get him a little headlamp with like a little reading light on top just so that we could turn off the lamp because the lamp's really bright.
Literally.
But thankfully now he has a Kindle. So we can both like sit in the dark and read and like talk
Yeah.
about what book we're reading and just kind of that stuff. So if you do live with a partner, it could even just be like, hey, what habits do we both want to work on that we can kind of in a way hold ourselves accountable for? I find holding partners accountable sometimes for like health and fitness stuff can be really hard, but routines don't have to be as hard. It could even be like, hey, at the end of every night, we're going to have a closing shift. And for 30 minutes, we're each going to do at some part of the house, tidy up. Like if that's one person doing dishes and one person folding laundry that's been sitting forever now, just doing that to like collectively feel like you're working on your routines can go a really long way too.
Yep, totally. Um, the one I had that was next is a mindset shift versus a
Mm-hmm.
habit. And this is going to sound, I'll probably sound like a bitch, but this is important, okay? It's important. I stay like the mindset at all times of I'm too good for that. And I know that sounds crazy. And I'm not talking about like, oh, shopping at this store, I'm too good for that, or eating at this place, I'm too good for that. But it's a mindset of like, if you wake up in the morning and you're like, "Ah, I just really want to sleep longer, I don't want to go to the gym, I'm too good for that. I'm too good to like be a lazy POS and lay in bed when I'm perfectly capable of getting up and going to the gym. Or it's like, I have perfectly good food at home, but this place is on the way home. I could just pick up food on the way home. Oh no, I'm too good for that because you are going to eat at home, right? You have the food at home. And so I think that's something I've just held myself to. It's not like I'm better than anyone else, but I hold myself to a higher standard. And I think that really is like a lot of the, part of the podcast we talk about, but it's something I just like subconsciously, I told myself that for so long. And now it just happens by nature. And I think that's how I'm able to like keep up a lot of why it's easy at this point. Like it's easy for me to just live a healthy lifestyle and it's not the same for everyone. So I'm not here to say like, oh, you're just not trying hard enough or whatever it is, but it took work, right? Like I haven't always been perfect. I'm not perfect, by the way, but I haven't always been on top of my shit. Like there's definitely been times I've slipped. There's been times where I don't follow through. And I think it's been easier growing up, like playing sports and being active and being busy because it's like kind of just carried me into adulthood. If that wasn't you, that's okay. But now that's just the standard you have to work harder to hold yourself to. And when you hold yourself to that standard long enough, it just becomes your everyday life. So, like, even when we are on vacation or people are visiting, which people visit us all the time, we live in Arizona and we have all of our family and friends, still a lot of them live up in the Pacific Northwest. Like, people visit us throughout the year. We have at least, I would say, 5 to 6 visitors plus a year, not including when my parents are visiting multiple times through a year. So it's like these things that even when we're out of routine, it's like I still do these things because I'm too good not to. Which
Yeah, I love that. My saying used to always be, it's not meant to be easy. Like I always used to say that. And I really got to bring it back because, whenever I'd be like, "Oh, I'm too tired," I'd say like, well, it's not meant to be easy. Like it's not meant to
Mhm.
be easy sometimes. So like wake up. It's not meant to be easy
Yeah.
to go to the restaurant and choose, instead of like the fried chicken sandwich that maybe you like deep down want. It's not easy. It's not meant to be easy sometimes to choose the meal that's maybe like the green bowl and it has like vegetables on the side or to sub out the fries for a side salad. Like it's not meant to be easy. And if it were easy, most of the world would be doing it. Like we wouldn't be seeing some of the, health rates that you and I have talked about in previous podcasts if it were easy. Like that's just what it is. So yeah, to your point, it's definitely having like a little bit of a saying. I know another one people will say it's like, because I said I would. So like, because I said I would, I'm going to go do it. Like, even if I'm not motivated, and my hairdresser asked me that too. I think I referred to it in like the last podcast we recorded. She was like, how do you stay motivated? And I'm like, I don't stay motivated, but it's because I said I would, or because I know it's not meant to be easy, that I'll wake up and I'll go to the gym when I'm not motivated, or I'll wake up and, have my breakfast, even though, man, Chick-fil-A breakfast biscuits sound really good, right? I don't think those things definitely pop up. And to your point, we're not perfect in that. And we're not saying, oh, go and never eat out and never do this and never sleep in again. You deserve that, right? Kenneth and I have had that happen. Actually, today we literally slept in for an extra 45 minutes because I woke up and I was just so tired. I'm also on my detox right now. So I'm just like beyond tired first thing in the morning. And I was like, for me, I was like, it's actually going to benefit my body actually better right now and my mood better for what I have to do today if I just get this extra 45 minutes. Like I needed to do that. Kenneth took that as his own permission slip as well, but it's fine. But that's to say, like, we're not perfect. It's not meant to be perfect, but it's also not meant to be easy. So when that resistance comes up, when it comes to mindset and like you wonder, oh, I'm just tired, or I'm just not motivated, or I'm just frustrated, it's not meant to be easy. If you go in a fat loss phase and you're frustrated because those first 4 weeks of a fat loss phase are a true test, like you starting a fat loss phase and realizing that it's not instant gratification, you have to remind yourself it's not meant to be easy. Like it's just not meant to be. It will always be easier to choose the thing of convenience. It will never be 100% the easiest option when you choose the inconvenience that is doing something different than most people do.
Yeah. It's always a choice too. I think just having that mindset of like, I have the choice. No one is sitting here telling me like, you have to do it this way, right? Like I come from like my dad's side of the family. Like I didn't have the healthiest grandparents. Actually, we just changed our life insurance. It's really depressing thing. Like we just changed up our life insurance plan, and I had to answer a questionnaire of like all of my familial health issues, and listing out my 4 grandparents, like blood grandparents' health history was not fun. I didn't come from like I'm lucky that my parents kind of flipped that script, but didn't grow up the healthiest, and I have family members who aren't the healthiest. And I think when you see that, it starts to become a little easier of like, okay, I'm going to put this in perspective. I could be one side of the coin or the other, and I don't choose that side of the coin. You always have a choice. It doesn't mean that I'm any better than anyone else. It just means I'm too good for myself to make that choice. Like there is always an option. And I think when you just start to choose that, it never is easy, but it becomes easier when you just keep doing the thing that is tougher. And I think that's just really like the mindset you have to keep is whenever you are staring down a two-way street, right? Like you could go this way, you could go this way. Isn't there like a poem that's like two paths diverge and one?
Yes, there definitely is. Yep.
Whatever it is. I'm not a poetry person, but there's always a choice. And both of them are hard in some way. Like it's either going to be hard to make the decision in the moment, or down the line, the decision you make can make life harder for you as well.
I actually found the poem. It's called The Road Not Taken, which is a sick name, if I'm being
Isn't it the
completely
guy
honest.
who does The Raven? Is it the same guy?
Yes. Yeah.
Edgar Allan Poe?
Oh, wait, no, it's Robert Frost?
Oh, Robert Frost. Yes. Okay.
Yes. What is, I forget what he does. Yes.
He did something else.
Yes. Maybe we'll wrap it up and I'll read the poem and we'll we'll do a little like wrap up with the poem.
Yes.
I know. What can I say? I feel like I'm at like what are they, like the poetry clubs where they read the poetry?
We're in slam
open mic. Yes. But it says, 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for not the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. These words are insane. Poets, I give a lot of credit. I don't know what half of these words are.
1800s were wild.
Oh, I kept the first one for another day, yet knowing how way leads to on the way. I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So yeah, it's just like nice when you get to read those types of things though, because it's funny. I actually used to own a bunch of poetry books growing up, and they always, I think, like hit me so hard. And I think that's why mindset is something I love to talk about. But that truly is like the big thing is like taking the road less traveled. And if anything, like the biggest takeaway of this podcast should be that it's like taking the road less traveled with your nutrition, with your fitness, with your sleep, with your routines, with your mindset. Like it's not going to be the thing that most people are doing, which is where a lot of resistance comes up, but it's like one of the best things you can be doing.
Yeah. It doesn't always have to be popular to be like the right thing for you. And yeah, at the end of the day, there's a choice, but hold yourself to a higher standard. Find the things that hold you to a higher standard. It doesn't have to be the same things as Chris and I. But you'll feel a lot better as a result.
Yep. Yes. It's been a good chat.
Nice. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Bye guys.
Bye.